ancient and beautiful city of Chester, home of the world-famous Chester Mystery Plays. With the correct answer.
This is the cathedral city of Chester, which has been steeped in Christianity for nearly 2,000 years. It's also the home of the ancient mystery plays, which, as you can hear, is being announced by the town crier.
Where in the world?
Every 5 years, the stories of the Bible are reenacted in a huge community production with scores of volunteers both on and off the stage. Thousands have seen it over the past couple of weeks, and we're going to get a taste today on Songs of Praise as we celebrate the greatest story ever told. I'm going behind the scenes during the final rehearsals, meeting the man who plays God and the playwright bringing the age-old stories to life. And of course, we've timeless hymns telling the story of salvation. Chester is one of Britain's oldest cities. In fact, there was a Roman settlement here only 70 years after the birth of Christ. These city walls were built after the Normans' arrival around 1000 AD, and then in the 15th century an ancient tradition began which has been going strong ever since. The Chester Mystery Plays predate the first English translation of the Bible.
It's the story of mankind and man's redemption from the creation right the way through to the Last Judgment.
In the past, the plays have been performed entirely outdoors. This year, they're moving indoors to Chester Cathedral.
There is just something very beautiful about being in the nave of the cathedral.
It's almost a real genuine community that you're a part of.
You become aware of hundreds of years of devotion, really, on stage, and to be part of that is extraordinary.
At their heart, they still remain plays by the people, for the people, a coming together of the whole community. And that's what our first hymn's all about, which was actually recorded here at the cathedral, with congregations and school choirs gathered together to worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. In 1951, the Chester Mystery Plays were updated for the Festival of Britain. Since then, they've been performed every 5 years, continuing an ancient tradition where local guilds or community groups perform the great stories of the Bible. For 2013, they've been adapted by writer Stephanie Dale.
I will hence and trace my path.
Well, I think the most important decision that we made very early on was that we wanted to work with the local community as much as we could. And what was important to us was to find a way of updating the guilds, the people who would put on the plays now, the teachers, the commuters, the tourists, the gay community, the homeless community. So, for example, creation, the most logical thing to do with creation was to give it to the teachers. And so the Teachers Guild is now performing creation, which is a lesson to Year 4.
At my bidding, may it be light. Light is good, I see in sight.
Did you ever worry about it being a little bit irreverent?
I think we have tried extremely hard to look at each individual play and look at the tone of it. I didn't want to create a piece of museum theatre that people think, what's this got to do with me now? I wanted it to feel very sort of 2013, and we're in Chester. Equally, I've been very careful. So, for example, plays such as The Passion, I've left very much alone.
The Paschal Lamb must be as the Lord doth command.
The Paschal Lamb is made ready. It was made hours before.
Well, it's a drama, it's a play, but underpinning it is that spiritual tone. How does that affect you?
I think it's been very, very moving, and particularly when we have been coming into the cathedral. And I think it is extraordinary to think that we are actually in the space where the monks would have translated these plays from Latin into English hundreds of years ago. You do find yourself thinking, what would they make of where we are now and how we're, retelling these stories.
And as a writer, do you think this is the greatest story ever told?
I think it has to be, doesn't it? Because, there are just each play, the plays about love, about jealousy, about hate, about revenge. And I think whether you have a religious belief or not, I think how can these stories fail but to move you?
For the actors involved in the Chester Mystery Plays, it's a chance to tell the stories of age-old biblical characters in a historic and holy place.
The building itself and the sort of hundreds of years of spirituality in the place come to be part of the production as well. It's in a funny kind of way, the building becomes a character in the play as well.
I mean the angel and Lucifer.
Actor Nick Fry is a member of the cathedral congregation and has perhaps the most challenging part of all.
Face the pretty fool.
The kind of premise of the play is God's workshop. So it's creating the world and then sort of setting it off.
What are you doing in that?
I'm playing God. Yes, I know. I create the world. It's wonderful. The power.
I mean, that's quite daunting. You can't get anything more daunting than playing God, can you?
No, it's especially in a cathedral. The scary bit is trying to come up with a character, because it's quite easy to be a bit distant and sort of just be, the man in the clouds sort of shouting at people.
Adam, man, also I say to thee, for there has...
What characteristics are you giving him?
As an actor, what you do is look for humanity. So when God sort of expels Adam from Eden, you kind of ask, well, how did God feel about that? Was he disappointed, happy, sad? And that's what you look for, those sort of human characteristics you try and latch onto.
So it was this experience that has brought you to an understanding of God's humanity?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. As a person of faith, that reveals something to you that perhaps you hadn't expected to discover. It's that sense of seeing God as a person, not just as a concept or as an abstract being, but as an actual person, is quite interesting. And it's something actually I hadn't expected to have happen.
It is for your sins I behight, to make reckoning of the right.
When you think of approaching the divine in terms of humanity, of course you think of Jesus. And perhaps God is not necessarily seen as that human a figure. But when you start thinking about it, of course, man was created in God's image, so there must be humanity there. And when you go and look for that and you find it, then that's quite revealing, actually.